So in the previous video what we did was build our first simulation, visualization, and what we were doing was testing our self-latching circuit with a start button and a stop button and a little item here that changes colour to simulate the motor coming on and off. So what we're going to do now is add a timer to the system. So if I go online and log out and go to the first tab along, double click in PLC_PRG and back in programming area, and in here if I click in the grey area, left click then right click, I can add a network before or after. I want a network after, and in this network what I'm going to do is add a timer. What I want the timer to do is, when the start button is pressed here, the motor comes on and it stays on until the stop button is pressed. That's the current situation. What I'm going to do is get the motor to go off after 5 seconds. So, to begin with, I'm going to use a normally open contact from the motor. So, I'm adding a normally open contact, go and find my motor 1, press enter. I'm going to use that normally open contact to start a timer. So if we go to insert timer tone, this timer is an on delay timer. So as long as there's a constant signal from motor 1 going into the timer will count to whatever amount of time we want it to. So I've got to declare this timer, give it a name and what type of variable it is. So if the question marks are highlighted at the top, call it timer. It doesn't like spaces, so if you're going to put any spaces in, _1 for example, just to call it timer 1. Press enter, and you're being asked to declare what type of variable this is. So I'm going to make it a global variable. A global variable means that it is available across the entire project. It's called timer 1 and it's a tone style timer. So OK that. And this PT value is where you will set the time that you want the timer to count to. So here you've got to put it in a certain way. So time, T, hash, the amount of seconds, 5, S. So that's 5 seconds. If you were to put M, you would get 5 minutes. And this ET value, we don't need to use it at the minute, we will use it later. And what the ET, that's the elapsed time. So that'll give you an actual output value so that you can see how much time has elapsed. The Q value, the Q will give a signal out once the time has elapsed. So in here, what we can do is create a variable, a coil, an auxiliary coil, which will come on whenever the timer has elapsed. So coil, highlight the question mark, and I'm going to call it timer 1 output _output. Press enter, and I'm going to declare this variable. So I'm going to make it a global variable, and it's got its name and it's a Boolean style. So a Boolean style means that it's either on or off, 0 or a 1. So at this stage, the motor starts the timer. As long as this motor contact stays on, the timer will keep counting. And once the 5 seconds has elapsed, this timer 1 output will come on. So we've got to use this timer 1 output to do something. So what I'm going to use is a normally closed contact from the timer. Add it to my first run. F2 and call it timer 1 output. So now what will happen is if 5 seconds elapse, this contact will close and the motor will go off. So come back to the next video and we'll add to our visualization to test the timer.